coming up next.
Today, people all over the world are celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Where does this worldwide holiday come from? Stay tuned to find out more.
Students were rewarded for their vocal and dance performances at Valley High School. We'll tell you who's gonna shake it up.
All this and more on today's episode of Wake Up Warriors.
Live from Penn Trafford High School. This is Wake Up Warriors. Wake Up Warriors starts now.
Good morning and a happy St. Patrick's Day to you, Penn Trafford, and welcome back to Wake Up Warriors. Today is Friday, March 17th. I'm Nick.
And I'm Ryer.
Today is St. Patrick's Day, but do you know how this holiday got started and what it represents? I sat down with history teacher Mrs. Smith and senior Richard Lehman to find out more about the history of this holiday and how they celebrate. Today is St. Patrick's Day, but do you know how this holiday got started? I talked with teacher Mrs. Smith and senior Richard Lehman on the history of this famed holiday.
The history of St. Patrick's Day is, well, I guess it's pretty simple. It's a day that honors St. Patrick, who is patron saint of Ireland.
St. Patrick's Day is a holiday celebrated in memorial for St. Patrick. He was a guy who was brought to Ireland as a slave, went back to Ireland to spread Christianity. After his death, there's a lot of myths that went around about his life, which the Irish took to heart. And they brought those cultures over to the United States when they immigrated.
It didn't start here in the United States, obviously. Like St. Patrick was born in Roman Britain. And at one point in his life, he was kidnapped at 16 years of age and taken to Ireland. Eventually, he escaped slavery. And when he returned to Ireland, bringing Christianity with him. And that's why he's the patron saint of Ireland, and that's why they celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And the reason they picked March 17th is because that's the anniversary of his death. He died in 461, and so on the anniversary of his death, they reflect upon his life and contributions to Irish culture.
I also asked them what they do to celebrate this joyous occasion.
I do celebrate it by dressing up as a leprechaun. I do it because it's fun, I can do it, and it's something you don't really see often in a hallway at school.
Well, I am Irish, and so my family actually, we have a big party, and we have a lot of very traditional Irish foods, and we just, connect with one another, and we really enjoy Irish music. We go to the Irish Festival every year, so a lot of times we'll put on Irish music, and this year we'll be doing that while we watch March Madness.
This has been Nick Shermito reporting for PTTV.
Several students from Penn Trafford's had outstanding performances in yesterday's vocal and dance competition at Valley High School. Eliza Kleinschmidt took second place in the 10th grade vocal solo. For the 11th grade soloists, Carrie Levantopoulos placed second, and Delady Cassavant came in first. Phelan Newman took first place in the 12th grade vocal solo category, and Grace Chedwick came in first place for the dance soloist category. Lastly, the barbershop octet of Nick Shermito, Tom Ferlino, Ethan Coles, Jacob Dietz, Patrick Boyle, Aiden Coyner, Zach Posner, and Jared Miller took first in the vocal group category. Here's Mrs. Wukich with more information on what this annual competition is all about.
So vocal and dance competition is a event that is coordinated through the Westmoreland County Gifted Coalition. They can work in a group performance, either in dance or in vocal, and they can also showcase an individual skill set as well. Interestingly enough, it's grown a lot, and it's grown in a way that's unique, where we have more people participating in the dance routines and more people participating in the group performances. We have the barbershop quartet that are participating with us and have participated with us the last year. A lot of times our competitions are focused primarily on academic achievement. So what's really nice about the vocal and dance competition is they have the opportunity to showcase their skills in other areas too.
The student literary magazine, Traces, is kicking off its annual production. If you are interested in submitting anything from poetry to art, here's Mr. Wozniak on how to get involved.
Traces is the student literary magazine of Penn Trafford High School. The creative writing class is responsible for producing it every year, and it does feature a good amount of their work, but most importantly, we want to feature the voices from throughout Penn Trafford. So anyone interested in writing of any kind, poetry, short fiction, nonfiction, essays, as well as art. If anyone has, sort of illustration, other visual art, anything, you could submit to our link, which is bit.ly/traces2023. Or you could find, there will be plenty of flyers and promotional materials around where there will be a QR code where you could submit to the magazine.
While many know today to be St. Patrick's Day, the 17th also marks World Sleep Day. Sleep is essential to everyone's lives, and the proper amount of sleep is necessary for everything that happens in your life. Unfortunately, sleep is less common with students now, as homework, extracurricular activities, work, studying, and more can interfere with getting your 8 hours of sleep. This can lead to numerous consequences regarding your health, including anxiety, additional stress, slacking, and others. Do yourself a favor and get your proper sleep this weekend, PT.
The SAP program here at PT recently got recognized for its outstanding efforts. But what exactly does the SAP program do? Zach Grabowski talked with Dr. Horvat to discover the goal of SAP.
The SAP program is the Student Assistance Program, which we use here to help students with various things like sometimes academic issues, social, emotional, mental health. The trainer that trained some of our teachers wrote a nice write-up and submitted it, and we won for the best high school team in the state. So Nurse Popovich and I went to a conference last weekend or the weekend before in State College and accepted the award. Well, the very first thing is always to go, I would think, hopefully you're comfortable with your counselor, and stop in and talk to the counselor. We need parent permission for the SAP process. So that's number one. So they would go about getting the parent permission and then go through the process from there. There are various teachers that are on the team, and actually they have a marker outside of their rooms that they're a member of the SAP team, if you've seen that. Mr. Buchikowski made them. They're around the building.
Attention National Honor Society members, the last day for the food drive is today. Please make sure you have turned in your items to Nurse Popovich to complete this mandatory service project.
Mr. Konopka's anatomy and physiology classes did a blood lab yesterday. The lab consisted of using blood samples to find out whether or not the blood types match from the child to the parents. The students put the blood samples on a small tray and put anti-A and anti-B serum into the blood samples. The students then mixed the two substances into their separate blood samples and held it up to the light to see if it would coagulate.
Students in Mr. Chusek's 5th period Earth and Space class gazed upon the most important star of them all, the sun. However, looking at just the sun with your eyes is dangerous, so they used several tools such as eclipse glasses, which block out most light, the sun spotter, which uses mirrors to reflect the sun's rays, and finally they used a telescope with a solar filter.
Congratulations to Mrs. Manapelli and Carson Olzing for winning this week's raffles from Mrs. Stefkovich's 5th period. Mrs. Manapelli won a Michael Kors purse, and Carson won a $25 gift card to Dick's Sporting Goods. Look out for next week's drawings, a $25 gift card to Grandma's Country Oven Bake Shop, and the last Michael Kors purse. Make sure to buy from someone in 5th period.
Coming up.
The Art Club is sponsoring a P. Sankey egg decorating workshop on Tuesday, March 21st from 2:30 to 4:30 in the ceramics room. You will learn the history and symbolism of the designs and colors of pisanka. You will also be able to make and take your egg decorating in time for spring. The space is limited to the first 25 participants. Please see Mrs. Crystalite to register or one of the flyers in the hallways. Thank you.
If you are a student currently in 9th through 11th grade and are interested in trying out for the high school cheerleading team, please sign up on Family ID by Friday, March 31st at 9 p.m. No registrations will be accepted after this date and time. Tryout practices are April 3rd through the 5th from 4 o'clock to 6:30 in the auxiliary gym. And the actual tryouts are Thursday, April 6th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the auxiliary gym. If you have any questions, please email martanica@penntrafford.org. That's all we have for today's show. Thank you for watching Wake Up Warriors. Please stand for the pledge of the flag. I'm Nick.
And I'm Ryer.
Have a great day, PT.